Hey guys, KiwiSylveon, and welcome back to Cinderella Phenomenon. Apparently, I am getting sick, but I don't care. I still have to do work. Yay! Ooh. Something got in my throat. Chevalier, don't listen to him. Look at all those men you can't save. All these men dying before your eyes. Chevalier, we have to get away from here. How many people have you really saved? In the grand scheme of things, you have no talent. That's why you sought help from a witch. Mithros' voice is oddly calm, and I feel some sort of presence in the air that is different from normal. And it plunges his sword through another's gut, causing him to lose his sword. The sword skitters across the floor, gleaming underneath the moonlight. I look desperately at Chevalier and realizes that the magic is already working its way into him. He doesn't see anyone except for Mithros, who is smiling at him from behind all the knights. I glance at the sword, remembering what Chevalier taught me. Mithros is unguarded right now, but I have better judgment than that, and I told Chevalier that I was going to steer clear of the burden of taking someone's life. I have a promise to keep. I gazed up at Chevalier and realized that this was how he looked every time he regained a memory, like he was stuck in his own mind. There's only one thing I could think of to get him out of this trance. I clenched my hands into a fist. And I punched Chevalier in the face. Of course. Why not slap? A slap would work. Ow! God, this is my face! Impossible! Chevalier's eyes are clear, and when he looks at me, I can tell he's distraught, but his eyes are seeing the present. Sorry, I thought I lost you. I suppose I needed that, didn't I? Chevalier smiles sheepishly. It's fleeting is gone by the time we both return to Mithros again. Chevalier looks straight past the still fighting knights. If this bothers Chevalier, which it must, he hides it beneath the neutral expression. How did you break my spell? You can't even use any magic. She didn't break it with magic. She broke it with the power of love. I stared at him skeptically. We both know that it's not true, and I know Chevalier well enough to know that he doesn't mean that. But Mithros looks furious. Love. As if some fairy tale love could save you from this predicament. Princess, you're a witch. We feed off negativity, off of chaos and loathing. Love serves us, no power. Life is about balance. Candace has taught me that. And I thought I might be able to uphold a balance of negatives and positives myself. I'm at least going to try. You could try to do the same. Maybe look beyond your depressing life and start reaching for something that gives you happiness. Something that won't plummet you back into the same darkness. Thor snaps his fingers and the knights freeze. They then turn to us, swords raised. I don't need to be lectured by some lovesick fool. By all means, cling to your love. It'll show you how fragile it is. Witches do not need love. He throws out his hands, and the knights begin their steady, deadly march toward us. Chevalier takes my hand and pulls me back. Do I see my opening in the narrative? Mithros enjoys inflicting pain with his words. And I can do the same. If you don't need love, if you don't need affection, Then why are you doing this for Mother? I am not! You're doing it to be recognized. Why? Every student wants to impress their teacher. His words are calm, but there's a desperation in them. Mother was Mithros' teacher. I had thought he was just reviving her as another witch, but... Do you know Mithros? It was a long time ago. We both shared the same teacher. Teacher? Wait. What are you up? A witch, yeah. Was Mother's student? No, I can't think about that now. But I can use this to my advantage. I don't remember Mother's students in the least, but one of them turned out right. The other did not, and I could see the bitterness in you. It's the same bitterness I held, only yours goes deeper. You will not sway me with your foolish words. Nice begin to rush, I guess. Their run is more of a pathetic shuffle, given the harm states of the raid, but this does not slow them down. We're going to run. But trust me, Princess. I will protect you no matter what happens. He grabs my hand and we wait. I see Chevalier's eyes darting around us as he searches for an opening. I can feel the pulse of his quickened heartbeat through his hand, and I know he's panicking. Suddenly, there's a massive, luminous gold wall in front of us. Knights stumble right into it, their swords hitting the barrier, bright barrier. Are you two okay? Perfect rushes his hand in front of us. Mithros' expression is a cold, angry glare. He measures the situation with critical eyes, and then he turns away and begins to start turning down the hall. Ugh! Whoa, wrong Parfait collapses to one knee, arms still outstretched to maintain the barrier. Delora appears. She is flustered and bleeding on one arm, but she still stands straight. Delora holds her hand and summons fire. Firaga! Put down the shield, Parfait. I have this. Parfait releases shield and the magic projectiles shoot out at the knights. The two edge the knights back through the hallway, but I can see Parfait growing weaker and weaker by the movement. Parfait takes a deep, shuddering breath as she tries to stand. When she falls yet again, Chevalier takes a step forward and looks at her urgently. Lady Parfait! I'm fine. Don't fuss. Her breathing is labored, but she still manages to smile. I fought in the Great War. This is nothing. She looks at me and Chevalier. You two need to leave. But you're... Fine, I just need to gather my energy. A spell from Dolores sends the knight sprawling to the ground after she creates a heavy downpour of rain that quickly turns into ice. You two keep going. The entrance is clear. You notice the witches that have been standing behind Mithros approach us now. Dolores stands at the ready. I can tell she's hiding a great amount of stress behind her smirk. Parfait slowly gets to her feet. We fight together, Delora. There's no one I'd rather have fighting by my side, Faye. Come on, Princess. We still have an opening. We head around the side. Parfait erects a shield to protect us from any magic that comes our way. And Dolores summons a whirlwind as a distraction. Ow! My foot is grazed by fire magic, causing me to stumble, but I force myself into a limping sprint regardless. This is nothing. At the entrance, I pause in the middle of the room. The main entrance hall is eerily silent. And then I see Mithros edging his way into the knights in the king's throne room, swinging tight to Emmeline. He knows me watching and smiles. Then he disappears into the throne room. We have to follow him. Princess, he has Emmelange. Chevalier's posture and expressions are indecisive, but mine are not. I know Mithros is baiting me, but I can't leave her alone. My gaze moves around the hallways as I search for other knights. The place is empty, but not long before we hear footsteps. I sense the sound, and Chevalier holds tight to my hand. Then suddenly, as the figures draw nearer, I recognize him, even if he has a completely different, older person. I finally found you! Whoa. I finally found you! Waltz? You broke your curse! But how? Chevalier stares at him in awe. I now dub you Waltz the Big. There's never Waltz the Small. Waltz shakes his head. And I broke my curse unexpectedly. I found the item that I needed while I was searching around. But I can explain more later. For now, we have to go after Mithros. Do you know where he is? He's in the throne room. Mithros stands in the middle of the empty throne room, holding Emmelange to him. He has his hand around her neck. No son moves you three, or this girl dies. And I do know how much death bothers you. With a start, I realize he's talking to Waltz. All three of us are frozen. Myth. Traitor. Why can't you see that Hilda wasn't trying to teach us? She was trying to corrupt us. Silence, traitor. You betrayed her. During the war, you betrayed your own teacher. Betrayed? Hilda was corrupted. She cannot be saved. How dare you use her name? Mithros' fingers tighten on Emmelange's throat. You see the tears running down her face. Her sobbing is quiet, but it still reaches my ears in the silent room. Varg! Varg appears from the darkness as he did before. He smiles at all of us from behind Mithros, eyes glinting mischievously. You didn't finish the job. You were awfully vague when you told me to take care of them. You know, most people would assume that meant entertaining them and offering them refreshments. Obey me. Varg turns to us. He draws the sword he used earlier, his smile fading. I think I see something like pain in his eyes, but then I think it might be my imagination. He looks stoic as he moves toward us. Sorry, I hit my mic. When Waltz moves, Mithros' hand tightens over Emmelange's neck and she cries out. Chevalier is watching everything quietly. The concern in his eyes is muted by urgency. I follow his gaze around the room, wondering what he's searching for. Myth, is it? You were injured during the Great War. I tended to you once. Stabbed in the stomach. You needed stitches for it. I feel Mithros' confusion before I see it. For just a few moments, though, his gaze is centered on Chevalier, his eyes probing him for information. No one came for you. Your teacher must have thought you were too weak, that you would die. Mithros' hands fly away from Emmelange's neck as he lunges towards Chevalier with a snarl, his flashing man. The rain breaks out into chaos then. Yay, chaos, I love it. I feel the rise of magic beside me as Waltz readies a spell. The tension in Chevalier's body as he prepares to shield me, and lastly I see Varg zip across the room. Everything goes white. When I look up, I see Waltz standing in front of me with a shield. Mithros' hand lies flat against the shield, and I feel the heat of his magic. Varg lays on the ground beside his fallen sword, unconscious from the impact of magic. Even Chevalier is on his knees. I rush toward the sword. At the same moment, Walt pushes Mithros back to the ground. Then, sword in hand, I stand above Mithros and aim at his neck. The blade touches his skin without sinking into it. Emmeline is hiding behind the throne, staring out at the scene with shock on her tear-stained face. Will you kill me? Mithros' smile is a mere shadow of itself. You saw the soldiers in the clinic today. You saw how close some of them were to death. Did you see the hollow in their eyes? I have seen that look many times. It's like a man who clings desperately to life. Every life is precious, and a life is still a life, whether it's vile or not. It's still a responsibility you have to bear. I know how valuable lives are, because I've helped so many people. That desperation in Mithros' eyes now, a man that clings to life. It would be so easy to slice his throat. I've seen much bloodshed on this night, and it was all caused by Mithros. If I kill him, I can stop all of it. But that would make me no better than the mother. I drop the sword. Mithros actually stops to stare at me in shock. I am not like Mother. I won't kill you for revenge. No sooner have I said the words that I feel sudden heat at my chest. My hand instinctively reaches up to grab the necklace around my neck. And then there's a bright light. Shing! When the light clears, a new source of light catches my eye. I'm wearing pretty shoes. I stop staring out at my feet, which are glass slippers that shine so brightly they sparkle even in the dim light. But I have no time to admire the shoes or the weight that has fallen off my shoulders. I barely recognize that the Fairytale Curse has been broken. Emmeline trudges behind the throne and screams, "Candace, watch out!" Mithros has grabbed the sword with his hand and turned it around and is aiming at my chest. It hits a barrier. Yay, Parfait! Parfait stands beside me once more, her face devoid of any color. I didn't see her rush in here. She takes a step forward as if to shield me. Out of my way! Mithros draws the sword back and plunges it again against the shield. This time the blade is coated with darkness. It pierces the already flimsy shield, and the blade goes through Parfait's heart. Parfait! Parfait grabs the blade and narrows her eyes at Mithros. I'm sorry. Hildur did not appreciate you. Something swells inside me as I stare at Parfait. The sword is impaled in her, and I can see her eyes go glassy. I can't speak. Can't breathe. Walt rushes forward with his magic and pins Mithros forcefully to the ground. He raises his hand, but never comes down in time. A sword strike passes his shoulder, right at Mithros' neck. When I turn, it's Chevalier that's holding it. So I shakes, the tear runs down his cheeks. Mithros holds his neck as Chevalier holds up the blade and throws it behind him. Out of the corner of my eyes, I catch movement that can only be Vard, but I don't care. Lady Parfait, don't move. We can take the sword out. I can see a hopelessness in Chevalier's expression, and I know that whatever wound Parfait took was lethal. I can see it in his eyes. I can see it in Parfait's. There's no need to fuss. When Parfait falls, Walt grabs her and puts his hand on the hilt of the sword. Chevalier crumples beside her. He stares at the blood staining her dress with sorrow. I start to cry. Candace, don't regret this. I'm proud of you. The room is quiet, even with newcomers that arrive. The knights and Karma watch the scene from sidelines, all with grim looks on their faces. last to arrive is Delora, who sits down beside Parfait with her lips pointed to an uptight frown. Her face is stern, but I can tell it's a mask. Parfait! That look doesn't suit you, Delora. I told you to stay back. Had I not been here in time, Princess would have... Words fall apart. She begins to cough. Delora leans over and shakes her head. I'm sorry I didn't come sooner. Everything as it should be, Delora. Perfect cranes her neck to look up at me. Wipe away your tears, Candace. What you did was a good deed. You spared a man's life. But life is not a fairy tale. Humans are good and bad. No, it isn't. But the fear of death makes a life even more valuable. Don't worry, Princess. I chose this. Her face smiles. It's mystifying to see her smile when her body is slowly crumbling away in Walt's grasp. Parfait's body is what gives out first. Her eyes go next. They remain focused on me, still smiling. Her body begins to glow as her body slowly fades away. Parfait! Parfait! Laura turns away. Even if she's not shedding any tears, it's clear that she's heartbroken. She closes her eyes and releases a shaky sigh. Sweet dreams, my friend. God damn it. Each of these endings are so hard on me. I think Fritz is in Rod's route that dies, or is it in Karma's? I think he's in Rod's, and oh my god. I don't know how long we all stay in that room, mourning the loss of Parfait. Karma, Jiren, and Garland eventually spread out to search for any remaining danger. At some point, they return with the king and the rest of the family. My reunion with my family is half-hearted. I don't know what to say to people that I hated on only months ago. Despite the quiet, they all take me in with open arms. The king stays by my side long after the others have left. Karma and the knights return to the market to tell the others the news. Waltz goes to search the palace for any remaining resistance. Only Delora, Chevalier, the king, and I remain. Chevalier cries. I've never seen him cry before, but his heartbreak is my own. What happened was a nightmare, but eventually ended. Last night, Varg escaped the throne room. No one saw where he disappeared to in all the chaos. I'm beginning to believe that his fate was a trick. Since the night had left everyone so tired, we were offered rooms in the palace. I came to my room with Chevalier, where two of us would attempt to comfort each other with words. Chevalier was especially shaken, being the one to kill Mithros. He was in tears for a long time. I'm pretty sure that I must have fallen some time when we were talking, but I'm lying in my bed underneath my covers, and though I think for a few moments that it must be a figment of my imagination, it's not. Aww! Chevalier is definitely lying right beside me, sleeping beneath those same covers. Aww, he's so cute! Pull off the recollection of the previous day to stare at Chevalier's face. His glasses are off, and without them, his face seems strangely empty. It looks vulnerable, almost like a child. except his features are too handsome for that. What am I thinking? I slowly put my hand to his cheek and flinch when his eyebrows crease. Hi! Hi. Moments later, his eyes open. They're foggy this early in the morning. So pretty. What's this? Have I been awoken by my princess? Usually it's the princes to wake their princesses. I will always wonder how the man just make me smile keep smiling like this. Even when he's in pain, he forces a smile. You're no prince, and I'm not some damsel princess. Chevalier closes his eyes again and sighs. There is only one way to break the spell of sleep. Red flushes, his lips curl into a mischievous smile. Still, his eyes do not open. I think about what happened last night. Parfait Mithros' death, Mark's escape, everyone else's heartbreak. Before I have to relieve that burden, I can't afford to lose myself in some happiness. I lean forward to kiss his smile. I break away from Chevalier, startled. Princess? Oh, distressing. Once the big ruins everything. I quickly slip out of bed and Chevalier sits up and puts on his glasses with a yawn. Oh, he was so cute without them. Good morning, Princess. Good morning, Princess. And his eyes widen when he sees Chevalier. Are you so tired that words have abandoned you, Waltz? No, I wanted to see if the princess was doing okay. If you're both alright, actually. He pauses to look at us, his eyebrows furrowed in thought. Though I can imagine you're tongue-tied. Just how tongue-tied you must be. You should speak if you have something to say. Walt sighs. I didn't want to bring this up so soon, but it's been on my mind the whole night. Are you confessing your love for my princess? How dare you? It's just... You didn't have to kill Myth. That was my job. Your job? I doubt that. Besides, I didn't want to kill him. It was a reaction. The room goes silent for a few moments as Chevalier stares down at the floor. He told me before that lives were valuable. That's why I tried to save Mithros. But in the end, my sparing his life forced Chevalier to carry the burden of his death. He already told me that it's not my fault. Parfait said that what I did was a good deed, but still. Killing Mithros saved us more casualties. I can convince Chevalier of that. Or, I hope I can convince Chevalier of that. Most likely, he'll wrestle with the guilt for a long time. I turn my attention back to Waltz and will the questions back to my head for the time being. Waltz, there are questions I'd need to ask you. How about how he broke his curse, about Mother's being his teacher, about Mithros. There's so much I had to ask him, I don't even know where to start. We have plenty of time for explanations now, Princess. After your birthday, Dolores and I will pick up your magic education. But for now, you should rest. I'll give you the full story of my apprenticeship and curse another day. But Princess Chevalier, I just thought I'd let you know that when Parfait came to this battle, she expected to die. She told all of us that while we were sitting around trying to plot a rescue plan. I glance at Chevalier, who nods quietly. Was it because of her frailty after the Great War? Or did Parfait somehow have a feeling? Oh, also, congratulations on breaking your curse, Princess. Chevalier sits up straight, his eyes narrow behind his glasses. What? I was supposed to congratulate her first. Chevalier stands and kisses me properly on the cheek. My cheeks flush, and even Waltz looks embarrassed. Congratulations, my sweet. It was all very dramatic when your curse broke. There was a bright light and... Wait. Why was there no bright light when I broke my curse? Both Waltz and I burst into laughter. Chevalier just sighs dramatically, leans against my shoulder, and I don't protest. I have a feeling that getting through the memory of last night might be easier with him here. If anyone can put a smile on my face, it's Chevalier. We hope to see you again at the March of June, Princess. I will be back, and after all, I have friends there. Did I speak falsely? No, of course not. It's the truth. Anyway, I need to get going. I have explained what happened to your father, but you should talk to him privately soon. After everything that happened last night, speaking to the king is the last thing on my mind. But then I suppose it must be done. Thank you, Waltz. And you, Chevalier, ought to ask for a guest room. No, but no bed is as comfy as the princess's. I nudge him without realizing it, but Chevalier just laughs. We promise Waltz that we'll see him and everyone else in the market soon. Afterward, Waltz hurries out and shuts the door. I go to the edge of the bed where something shiny catches my eyes. Glass slippers are a reminder of everything that happened yesterday. Of the fact that life goes beyond just black and white. Good and evil are subjective. In the end, life is gray, Mother. Both good and bad. But even so, even without the fairy tale end, even though fairy tale endings can't exist, I still want to live my life without everyone. I still want to live my life with everyone else. Mithros centered his life around a single person. He was selfish. I will become someone better than him. Thinking about Mithros makes me remember something. Chevalier, yesterday you said you took care of Mithros during the Great War, but no one came for him. Was that true? I don't know, Candace. He acted like it was though, wasn't it? So you never knew Mithros? No, I didn't know him at all. I don't know if I would have been able to strike him down if I did. I don't know about the burden he carried, but it seemed heavy. I only guessed what it could have distracted him. I had heard the rumors of a strong witch that went abandoned for many years. That may have been him. It may have not been. So deception exists in everyone, but not entirely what Mother said it was. Aw, Waltz. Not Waltz. Hello? What's the next one? Our birthday is tomorrow. I sit in the throne room speaking to my father, who has listened to my tale with patience. When it's over, he looks at me sadly. I owe you an apology, Candace. The whole time you've been on your own, and I couldn't do a thing for you. You can now. Starting first by explaining what happened between you and Mother. You knew she was a witch. I did. You did too, before she forcefully erased your memories. I tried reaching out to you many times when you were a child, but my efforts were met with resistance. Still, I can't excuse myself for what I've done. I truly abandoned you, and I'm sorry for that, Candace. I will explain the story to you, if you give me time. For now, I would very much like to mend my bond with you. To be honest, this king still angers me. He only apologizes now after all that's come to light. Whether or not I was difficult to speak to, he still had an obligation to seek me out. He's late to care, but he's still my father, and I can forgive him. I can learn to trust him again. It will take time, but I would like to mend our bond. I would also like to try speaking with Emily, Gerard, and Ophelia, but that will take time. The king smiles back at me. It's the one of the first honest smiles I've seen from him in years. We have time, all the time in the world, and we will mend our family bond, I promise. As I turn to leave the room, the king calls out to me. Candace, I'm proud of you. More proud than any other father in the realm could be of his child. After what happened, we searched for Fritz, but he's vanished. Mythos and Varg had said they had replaced him, but they never said anything about what happened to him. We searched endlessly, but to no avail. All I can hope is that he's safe, and that we'll reunite it with him again in the future. Oh, Waltz's performance today was amazing. Don't you agree, Mr. Chevalier? I agree. You ladies look especially charming with so many lilies floating around you. Oh my! He always speaks like that. Don't mind him. It's been a whole month since the events at the palace. My birthday has come and gone. Now my life begins. I've been practicing magic with Waltz and Delora, attempting to bond with my family and visit the market when time allows me to. Anise was overjoyed to see me visiting often. Since Chevalier operates from there as a doctor, I visit often. Mostly, though, he clings to me like a leech. Oftentimes I find him in my bed when I could have sworn he was sleeping in another room for the night. Sometimes at night he has nightmares of blood on his hands and of Mithras' death. And at those times I'm glad to be sitting right beside him so I can promise him that things are alright. As for the Fairytale Curse, I have no idea how Candace puts up with you. Rod's voice comes out from between his lips. Now he can actually speak. Since the Fairytale Curse was tied to Mother's still living soul in the crystal, her disappearance and my taking her place immediately caused the root to vanish. I've been working for days to break everyone's Fairytale Curse with magic, and when I'm done, no one in this kingdom will have to suffer from it ever again. And now the market is not just a place reserved for the cursed, now it's open to the public. Candace enjoys it, though. She finds my poetic weavings to be the best in the kingdom. What he means to say is that I can only put up with them because of our relationship. Loving someone so much you could put up with their nonsensical poetry. I thought you were the nice one, Princess Emmelange. No, she has a point. Emmelange focused her attention on a musician standing off in the distance. She points excitedly and then rushes after them, pulling her brother with her. Her guards follow. Ever since the incident at the palace, we have had more security. I don't blame the king, though it can be tiring at times. Luckily, he's more lax with me. When I told him Chevalier was going to be with me, he said with having Emmelange and I share guards. And so I get to be with alone with Chevalier often. Father was wary of him at first, until he found out that he was a renowned doctor. Now him and Chevalier get on well enough. Chevalier takes a step closer to me and I place my hands around his arm. Hey. Aww. I'm no prince, nor am I a knight in shining armor. I'm just a doctor who has been blessed with the most beautiful woman in this world. Chevalier begins to lead me through the town again. He is one of the only constants in my ever-changing life. He is the one that will always make me smile, and we share a burden, the burden of a friend's death. He is most burdened with the nightmares than I am. While I wish I could do more to help, I can at least listen to him, just as he listens to me. No matter the burden, it can be overcome. Candace? Yes? I love you more than anything in this world. I love you too. We share one kiss, ignoring the spectators in town with a shared smile. Then we follow after Emmelange. Yay! Now I'll be going to, what's the order again? Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! The bush. I'm good. the slideshow. So pretty. Aw, the kiss. Aw, so much love. Aw, his eyes are so pretty. I want someone like these guys, please. I forgot that you can't skip these things. Well, I'll see you when I start up. I think it's Waltz that's next. I'm just looking at things and boobs. Anyway, I'm going to see it in let me and yeah, Princess is the next one. Oh, look at Rumple. Next is Fritz, and then Friendly Rod. I mean, not Rod. Then Fritz and Waltz, the 2 Z characters, are the next chapter. Woohoo! More heartbreak! I'm so happy! Yay! I'll see you guys then. Bye.